Hello, Nerd Warriors. The trick or tip I've decided to demonstrate in this video, because it's a lot easier than taking the pictures, is woven stranded knitting, which, because this is not technically Fair Isle, because it's not a motif from Fair Isle, and it breaks a whole bunch of rules, like really long stretches of color. For example, this green stripe goes all the way around and is interrupted only by my steeking panel. Because I'm making a mug cozy to demonstrate this, and there are these long stretches of color interrupted with only a little bit of actual contrast color in front, and these long stretches, unbroken stretches. So to make it neat, and because I've always had tension problems with my Fair Isle and other stranded knitting, I'm working woven. And because I'm working woven, I've gotten into the habit of never having a float longer than 3 stitches. Ideally, I like to have my floats 1 or 2 stitches at most. That's a little excessive perhaps, but since I can weave them in, I very rarely go for a float that's 3 stitches. Okay, so I need to work these next stitches, 2, 4, 6, 7 of them in green, and then the last 3 on this needle in cream for the E. Normally that would be a float that's bordering on the edge of too long. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work, and this is two-handed stranded knitting. Main color is in my right hand, contrast colors in my left hand. I'm working on the principle of color dominance, that the relationship of the way the yarns sit will cause the left hand yarn to pop more. Whether this is true or not, or whether it's a tension issue, not sure, but it always works for me. So I put the color I want to pop the most in my left hand. But that is not the tip or trick I am showing today. So work a stitch. Now this is how I weave them in. I insert my needle to knit, and I also insert it under the left hand yarn. This is when working the background color, or the color in my right hand. I wrap the yarn to knit, and I pull through only that main color. And that captures, not the cat, that captures the contrast color over the stitch. And then I work another stitch in main color to anchor it. And I can work another stitch in main color because I'm working, that a 2-stitch float is plenty good enough for me. And I'm doing it again. Stick the needle in, and at the same time under the yarn on my left hand, wrap, pull just the main color through, and again that anchors it. And then work another main color stitch to anchor it, and another one because I need another one. And then here I work my contrast color, and they're all neatly caught in the back with a pretty even tension. Now it's a little more involved to wrap the right hand yarn than to the left hand yarn. The left hand yarn is easy. It just goes, the needle just goes under the needle, under the yarn, and then it's worked as normal, ignoring that yarn. When working this yarn, the right hand yarn wrapped, you need to do a little bit of prep work. Bring the yarn around the needle as if you're going to work it, but don't work it. Bring this yarn around the needle as if to work it, but don't work it yet. Unwrap the right hand yarn and pull the left hand yarn through. I'll demonstrate that again. Okay. So you have your left hand yarn, which is the color you want to work, the right hand yarn, which you want to weave in. You insert the needle as if to knit, wrap the right hand yarn, pick the left hand yarn, unwrap, okay, unwrap the left hand yarn, and unwrap the right hand yarn and pull the left hand yarn through. And that captures it neatly in the back. And then work another stitch to properly anchor it as well. And that's what all these short floats woven in looks like. Now, if you stack where you weave it on top of each other, like I did here, it does create a blip that can show through when the fabric is under some tension. But it's not really that bad. And when it's relaxed, it's extremely faint. It's more noticeable when there's a high color contrast and before it's blocked. But I think it's acceptable. And it's much to be preferred than really long, crazy floats. And I find it to be less visible and easier to work than actually physically twisting the yarn around each other. Hi, cat. That's Burgle. So let's show this again. Okay, to do the left-hand color, insert the needle to knit the stitch, but also pass it under the left-hand color. Wrap the right-hand color to knit, pull only the right-hand color through. This captures the left-hand color over the yarn without having to actually cross it. Then work another right-hand color stitch to anchor it. I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to do it again. Pass the needle into the stitch to knit it, and then at the same time work it underneath the left-hand color, wrap it, and pull it through, like so. And that captures it. I'm going to do 2 more stitches. And then I'm going to work. Now, to do the right-hand color, you pass the needle into the stitch to knit it, wrap as if to knit, pick the left-hand color, unwrap, and pull the left-hand color through. Let me show that again. Okay. The idea is to catch the right-hand color over the left-hand color. So you insert the needle to knit, wrap the right-hand color, pick the left, unwrap the right-hand color, and pull only the left-hand color through. And the cat is scratching right in the middle of my frame. And then work that one. Burgle! Burgle! Yes, you. Yes, you, boy. Are you trying to upstage my video? Stop upstaging my video. Okay. Anyway, that is my tip or trick, which is something I learned from the Philosopher wool site, which has greatly improved my tension and has gotten me to the point where I really hate floats that are longer than 2 stitches wide. Sometimes they'll do 3, but mostly 1 or 2 stitches wide. Burgle, Burgle, say goodbye.